Okay, we're going to start where we left off on part one. We're on our last muscle of that moves the hand. So the last muscle of our upper extremities that we need to know. This one's a tough one to find from model to model, just because it kind of hides behind other muscles, or it's hidden almost with other muscles, depending, or slightly moved over in other muscles by a millimeter or centimeter. It's an extensor. So we know that we're going to be able to find it on our posterior side of our forearm. We can't use our 2-over trick. Won't work on this one. It's on the radial side. Radialis is going to be our biggest clue. So we're going to be on the radial side. What does it do? It extends and abducts the wrist. So let's find it right here. Here we go. See it? Hold on. Let's get rid of that. I'm gonna draw it. Okay, so it's right here. You can barely see it. Okay, and then on the posterior side. So here we anterior side. Barely see it because it's on the side. Here's the radial side. Okay, and then here is the posterior portion. We see it right here. Okay, again, radial side. Let's blow this up a little. This is about the arm model. Okay, so if we get this real big, we see, and you can see I flipped this picture from its orientation because I need to look at it in somewhat familiar orientation. Extensor carpi radialis longus. Okay, I'm looking at a posterior view because there's the top of my hand. Here it is pointing to right here. Let's draw this in. See how large it is on this view? Okay, let's take this back down. And that was pretty much in the same place as this diagram, okay? Here's another view. We're looking at with some muscles cut away. Here is our posterior view that we have. There's our extensor digitorum, okay, and we've had some muscles cut away. So here we're looking at our extensor radialis, extensor carpi radialis right here, okay. Let me draw better lines. All right, and then we can barely, this is that view again, we can barely see it from the anterior side. All right, so let's see if we know our functions. That's washing machine noise. Okay, so we're going to take a moment, pause this, fill them out yourself, see what you know well, see what you need work on, find a way for a mnemonic or something to help you out. I'm going to start with some that I know well, okay? I know that trapezius is going to have to do with moving my scapula, raising my shoulders, okay? I'm going to know that extensor digitorum has to do with my digits. I know that one well, okay? I'll go ahead and finish up the lower arm while I'm at it. Powerful flexor, the only one that's a flexor of my arm, my lower arm, is that one, right? Okay, extensor carpi ulnaris and extensor carpi radialis longus. Okay. All right, so we have arm extension up here. There's my latissimus dorsi. I'm trying to drag it, won't go. Okay. Here we go. And then we have a arm abduction. It's going to take my arm away. I know that's the deltoid. Oh, take your arm away. As that could be like Delta, an airline taking you away. Okay, prime mover of arm flexion. I know that is my pectoralis major. Stabilizes my shoulder humerus, abduction, supraspinatus. Both of these are going to do the same thing, so I know it's this pair. Not really a pair. Infraspinatus and subscapularis. My biceps is going to be responsible for flexion, and my triceps is going to be responsible for extension. Okay. That finishes up the muscles of the upper extremity. Oh, no, it doesn't. Here we have origin and insertion sites. So my deltoid, the first one we looked at, I know that I need my clavicle and my scapula, okay? And then I know it inserted on a humerus. I'll go ahead and grab that first humerus there. I know the insertion of my teres is also on my humerus. So I'll go ahead and grab that D. And I know it started on my scapula. So I'll go ahead and grab that F. I know the origin of my biceps brachii has to do with the coracoid process. Okay, I need to move my screen over some again. All right, insertion had to do with the radius. There's B. Origin of triceps. Here we had glenoid cavity and the humerus bone. And insertion. I know I was coming down on that ulna. All right. No, I got these backwards. Okay. All right, so now let's start with muscles of the abdominal wall. Our first one is the rectus abdominis, and I know that the fibers are going to extend vertically because that's what the word rectus is telling me. I'll know that for some muscles on the leg also. So fibers run vertically, okay? What does it do? It flexes and rotates the vertebral column. It's the medial abdominal muscle, okay? So if you have layers, you have and superficial, the medial, and then that one would be deep, okay? Or deepest. What else? It's segmented by 3 tendinous intersections. 1, 2, 2, and 3. Okay. All right, here's the tendon that runs right straight down the middle, and it's linea alba, which means white line. And it's a narrow tendinous sheath, runs along the middle of the abdomen, all the way from the sternum to the pubic symphysis. And we get sternum to pubic symphysis. Sternum, pubic symphysis. Okay. External oblique. So it's external layer, okay. It's going to, oblique means that the fibers are running diagonally. It's the outermost layer, so it's the most superficial. Okay, it flexes and rotates the vertebral column, and it's the lateral abdominal muscle, the largest one, most superficial. We can see it here, and we can see it on our other muscle man. All right, transverse abdominis. I have 3 black lines here. This is direction of the fibers. They're running horizontally. What does the transverse abdominis do? It compresses the abdominal contents. It is the lateral abdominal muscle, and it's the deepest abdominal muscle. So if you have your most exterior, your most superficial, then your medial, then your deepest. Okay? All right, so let's do some function check on these muscles of the abdomen. Cavity. Well, yes, cavity. That'll work. On the interior would be the cavity. All right, so how do I want to start? First, you pause. If you pause and then do them yourself, and then find things you know best when you come as you start, and I'll do the same. Okay, so I have to use letters more than once, so I'm just going to write them in. It might be easier. Okay, a white line. I know that one for sure. I'll start there. Here's my B. I know it is that narrow tendinous sheath. Okay, so B, I am done with. Okay, and that's not B. C. Okay, C I'm finished with. Excuse me. Okay, flexes and rotates the vertebral column. There actually might be a couple that do that, but I know that the rectus abdominis does it. I know that the rectus abdominis is the medial muscle. I know that the fibers extend vertically because that's in the name, rectus. And I know that it has 3 tendinous intersections. Okay, all those were A. I guess you can see how this is going. All right, A we're finished with. All right, flexes and rotates the vertebral column. Here we go with B. The largest is B, okay, our external oblique is the largest one. Downward and medially, or we could say diagonally, and it's the lateral, it's on the side, okay. And let's see, that's B. And then transverse, we know it compresses. We know it is also lateral and deepest abdominal muscle. And we know that the fibers run horizontally. Okay, that's our function of our abdominal muscles. And that wraps up this section. I have a few minutes. Let's make sure we covered anything that we wanted to for both of these sections. Oops, I don't need to go all the way back. Okay, so remember that these muscles on your exercise sheet, you need to know every single one of them that's listed. You need to know what it looks like in a PowerPoint. You have those in your Blackboard account. You need to know what they look like on Miniman. I think I have enough pictures for you to find what you need. Other people in class have pictures also. If you need something else, let me know. I'm sure I can track it down. You need to know what these muscles look like on that one single little muscle guy. You need to know what they look like, where you can find them on the arm model. And you can, then we'll do the leg model on the next session. I'll have to do that one alone on a recording by itself. You also need to know all the functions that are listed on your exercise sheet and any origin or insertion site. Again, if you're looking for origin insertion sites, find a diagram that has the bone included. That would be most helpful to you. And if you need anything else, if you need any more views, if you want me to talk specifically about a muscle again, please let me know. And remember, during testing, move things and put them in the orientation that you need them to be in for you to get them. It'll be the same setup as the bone practical. You're going to move every 90 seconds, and you're going to have 2 muscles, either a muscle or a function or an origin at each station, and you'll have 60 questions. So you'll know you'll make 30 stops to get those 60 questions done. So I think that'll do it. If you need anything else, I'll be happy to do this. I know they're not the greatest quality as they're my first ones ever, and I'm trying to push them out quickly so you have something to study with. Okay, so that will do it. Okay, and then we'll start right here at muscles that move the thigh on our next video. And thank you very much.